Good morning, boys and girls. It is Thursday, May 14th, 2020. It was nice seeing you guys on Zoom yesterday, and we did talk about poetry and the characteristics. Today we're going to continue with poetry, but this time I want to talk about the characteristics of poetry anthologies, okay? Anthologies are a little bit different. Basically, it just means that they're a collection of poems that are kind of similar, and they are usually all together in a book, okay? So it's a collection of poems. And there's usually some type of theme. This is probably one of the most popular. You guys have probably seen this either in my classroom. I think the one in our room is A Light in the Attic by Shel Silverstein, and this one is Where the Sidewalk Ends. This would be an anthology because it is a collection of poems, okay? So we're going to talk about this after I read a few, but I'm not going to read a few from this. The few that I'm going to read are the ones that go with our writing unit, okay? So, that I printed off. The first ones I'm going to read is going to be from a book of poems called Nest, Nook, and Cranny. So just by hearing the name of that anthology, what are you thinking these might all be about, okay? So kind of think about that. I have two from this book, okay? So it's from Nest, Nook, and Cranny. All right, the words are very small on this. All right, it says, herons walk with stilted steps, stalking, cautious through the marsh, ruffling the water's edge, proceeding in a stealthy march. Each footfall kicks a cloudy plume, a murky swirl of sediments, disturbing creatures in the gloom, unsettling their settlements. Fish dart out of hiding places, flicker past the heron's knees, daring to seek safer spaces. Deeper water, denser reeds, herons filled with fishy bites take flight, for treetop colonies to spend the night. So that was the first poem. Okay, so that took place, it sounds kind of in a swampy area. There's herons, there's reeds, fish, murky water. I'm going to show you the picture that was on that poem. Okay, there was not a title to this poem. It's just a page with a poem and a picture, okay? The next one is the same way. Also from Nest, Nook, and Cranny. Okay, and here we go. Ducks, quack, quack, are careful when they choose a marshy place, quack, quack, to raise their brood, Bankside where they quack, 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 can sip or nip or glide or splash, quack, quack, or dip. Proximity, quack, quack, to water sources. It for ducks of prime, quack, quack, importance. Watching out, quack, quack, for snapping turtles. Also, quack, 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 never hurries. What a life for quack, quack, happy ducklings. Spending summer days, quack, 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 drinking, hunting, smacking, snacking, quack together, paddling like kayaks, quack with feathers. Come sundown, quack, quack, in a downy rank, ducklings waddle, quack, quack, up the bank. Sleepy, quack, quack, ducklings, needing rest, hollow quack each over to their nest. And here is a little picture of that one. I'm hiding what I have written or typed in the middle because that kind of gives us the theme. So there's the picture of the duck one. Okay, so I read two poems from Nest, Nook, and Cranny. What do you think the theme of that anthology is? Probably nature. And nature usually goes along with science. So I think that would be where we would put that anthology. Okay, the next two are from a famous person, and I don't think any of you chose this famous Black American when we did our Black History reports, but the author of both of these poems is Langston Hughes. He was a famous Black American poet, and he had an anthology collection of poems. I'm going to read two from his. The first one is called Dream Keeper. Bring me all of your dreams, you dreamer. Bring me all your heart melodies, that I may wrap them in a blue cloud cloth away from the too rough fingers of the world. That's it. That's that poem. So he's saying, bring me your dreams, bring me your heart feelings. I'll keep them all quiet and in secret for you and safe. We don't want people with rough fingers. Does that really mean that rough fingers are going to grab your dreams? No. It just means that it's kind of, he'll protect you and be your friend and keep your secrets and your dreams because he's a good friend, or whoever is your good friend, and they're not going to let others ruin that for you, to keep your dreams no matter what things happen. Okay? The next poem doesn't have a name, so I'm just going to read it. It's also short. Let the rain kiss you, let the rain beat upon your head with silver liquid drops. Let the rain sing you a lullaby. Now, I don't know about you. Probably when I was your age or younger, I was afraid of rain and rainstorms and thunder and stuff like that. But now, I love falling asleep to rain. It does sound like a melody. It kind of does put me to sleep. Of course, if there's a loud boom of thunder, it kind of, startles me. But this is just about let that sweet rain sing you a lullaby. So both of those are by Langston Hughes. And this one did have just a picture. That's Langston Hughes. I don't know if you recognize him from our poster, because he was on one of the posters in our room. And what would you say the theme of his are? Probably love, safety. And he is a famous person, so we kind of put that in the theme of famous person. And actually his book, his anthology, is called Love to Langston Poems. So this one was Nest, Nook, and Cranny, and his book was called Love to Langston. Okay? So these are both books of poems, and we call that anthologies. So let's look over here at this anchor chart. This is not the same anchor chart that we saw on my Tuesday lesson, and it's not the one that we talked about in the Zoom yesterday. This is different. This is called Characteristics of Poetry Anthologies. The definition of that is a collection of poems that are similar in some way, and usually there's a theme, just like we talked about. Langston Hughes were about love, and Nest, Nook, and Cranny was about nature. Okay? And here's some bullet points. Anthologies are a collection of poems that are published in one book, usually one poem per page. Even if the poem is this short, they only put one on a page, and I'll show you that in the other book. Some have a table of contents. You guys know what that is in the front of a book. You can go find which one you want to go and read. And there may be illustrations throughout the anthology. Okay, on this one, there was a picture on both pages. That was Nest, Nook, and Cranny. Dream Keeper, there was one on this page. These were on all separate pages. I just printed them together. So that's why I wanted to show you this book. So back over to me, camera woman. Okay, so Where the Sidewalk Ends is an anthology. I did not read any from this, but what I wanted to tell you or show you this one does not have a table of contents in the beginning. However, this one does have one poem per page, okay? Remember I told you a lot of poems are written in the middle, okay? And there's a picture, okay? One poem, picture. No picture on this page, but only one short little poem. The rest of the page is blank, all white. So there's a lot of white spaces. Look at this one. Small, all this extra blank space, picture, okay? These are also, remember we talked about on Monday or Tuesday and Wednesday, they're divided by this extra space here. That means we pause when we read it, and we call this poem would have 2 sections, actually 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And what was the fancy word for section of a poem? Stanza, okay? So, this is an anthology, okay? And also, another characteristic that I don't have on this chart is a lot of anthologies have a book jacket. That's what this is. It's a jacket protecting the book. A lot of times on the jacket, they explain a little bit about it, right here or sometimes in the back. This one, that's the author, Shel Silverstein. Here's a picture of him. Very famous poet. And inside I'm going to read what his is. Come in, for where the sidewalk ends, Shel Silverstein's world begins. You'll meet a boy who turns into a TV set, and a girl who eats a whale. The unicorn and the bloath live there, and so does Sarah, Cynthia, Sylvia Stout, who will not take the garbage out. It is a place where you wash your shadow and plant diamond gardens, a place where shoes fly and sisters are auctioned off, and crocodiles go to the dentist. Shel Silverstein's masterful collection of poems and drawings is at once outrageously funny and profound. So, what do you think the theme of this is? Kind of silly, they don't make sense, kind of like a Dr. Seuss of poems, right? Okay, so these are examples of anthologies. These are prints off of a book, because I don't have these books with us. They're probably in our library at school that I can't get to. But this is one that we have at home that I wanted to show you. And here's our characteristics of it. Okay, you don't have an assignment today after this lesson. However, tomorrow on Friday's lesson, on my lesson plan, you have word work. And your word work is for you to do a name poem. So I want you, or you can ask a parent or older brother or sister to look up the lesson. And I did a name poem with my name, Lana, because Kieninger is very long. So if you want to just use your first name, that's fine. So look at mine on the lesson, and that can be your first little poem that you're going to write. Okay, so have fun with it, and have a great weekend. See you next week. Bye.